everyone, and welcome
Hello,
to...
everyone, and welcome to the Ladies Tale podcast. You see, she never waits for the red button. I just sit back.
It's not never.
I'm sorry, not never. Oh. No, I just sit back and like relax and wait for her not to do it, and so I can just say it nice and slowly.
You just swoop in to be heroic.
I am.
She's the hero ambulance chaser. That's what she is.
Wow, a hero ambulance chaser. Did you just compare me to a lawyer? Thank you. I'm still making money.
Heroes too.
They are. No, I'm saying I'm making money, so I'm excited.
Wait, I should be saying barristers.
Oh, right. I forgot. Right, barristers. Right, because there's someone. I don't know, y'all. Apparently, I speak English, but I don't speak the right kind.
I speak English. I don't speak England.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, that's. I don't know.
Wait,
that was
Julia made that joke.
No. So, yeah. We wrote books, y'all. We have literary life guides of pop poetry, and I thought divorce was bad with other life lessons, and I thought being grown up was easy. If only I were me, a memoir and verse, all available on Audible because the wonderful Jill Sands read them. Thank you, Joe. Yes. And you can find out everything your ladies are doing, and I mean some of the things that you probably didn't want to know about us on
some of the things I wish I didn't put out there. I gotta fix that.
Wow. On www.andwethought.com, or for the abbreviated version, andithoughladies.com. But y'all aren't here to hear about us ramble on and on about boring stuff. You're here to hear from my wonderful guests.
Wonderful guests, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. My name's John Osborne. I'm in Norwich, in England. And thanks for inviting me onto your show. This is fun.
It's fun? Yay! I'm excited. We were like, we're probably boring him to death right now. So this is exciting that you like our show. This is great.
So question, Norwich. First of all, we need to know where it is
before we
get started. Yeah, definitely.
It's east of England, so it's about 2 hours from London, and it is a big city. It's about the 10th biggest city in England, and it's quite a nice place to live, I think.
Okay,
that's good.
So, you live on the water or not?
Like, do I live where, sorry?
Really?
Do you live on the water?
Like, really?
Yeah, it's not about half an hour to water. So not, yeah.
Well, I mean, I always love beach days, so I'm with this city. I'm with it.
What is the English beach vacation like?
It's good. It's what we used to do when I was little. Beach holidays used to be a big thing. It's hard because the weather is unreliable, but it's a beautiful thing. I love a beach holiday in the UK. It's a really nice thing to do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time I go to the beach.
Nice. Are we all looking forward to going to the beach without masks?
We all looking forward to going? Jay, we was at the beach yesterday.
I mean, I know. Well, I was trying to be here with the people. Well, no, stop it.
I was at the beach this morning. But okay, yeah, you're right. No, the really cool big beach.
Right, like the beach that you want to go to with like all the commercial things and is he drinking beer? Because I'm gonna be real sad.
Wait, was that a beer?
I just had a bit of beer, yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I thought
Red Stripe?
I thought it was beer, right? When I saw it one time and I said, "Oh, is that beer?" Because that sounds like an exciting thing to do in the afternoon. I like it. I mean, I know it's night there, but I was excited to be here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your writing. Tell us about it and the journey that you've taken.
Okay, so I've written for about I wrote since I was little, since I was a kind of about 10 years old, but I've the last 10 years I've written books, and I've written for TV, and I write for radio, and I write theatre shows as well. So I do a little bit of everything.
You are making your writing make you money. I like it. I can get behind a person with that. So what are some of your book titles?
My poetry book. So my most recent poetry book is this one. It's called No One Cares About Your New Thing. And my first poetry book was called What If Men Burst In Wearing Balaclavas? And I had another poetry book called Most People Aren't Very Happy Anyway. So yeah, they're my poetry books. And then my sort of bigger books, my sort of actual books are sort of a little bit more serious, but poetry is just like something I've always enjoyed doing.
So when did you fall in love with poetry? And then I'm going to let Winona ask all the other questions.
At school, I think, when I was a teenager, we started to study poems. But it's more through music. I loved music when I was a teenager. And so I didn't love poetry, but I loved like the poetry in music. I love song lyrics. And even like people like the Beatles and David Bowie and I was so excited to work out what these songs meant and what they were about. And yeah, so I didn't try to write poetry. I tried to write I thought I was writing song lyrics, but just didn't have a band or any musical ability. And then when I got a bit older, I thought, oh, these are just poems. So yeah, I love poems, but mainly I just love songs and music.
Absolutely. I told ourselves, we say yes to that.
Exactly. I was like, but then that explains like why we pick songs that are like everyone else, like I love the beat, and we're like, what did the lyrics say?
We're all in the lyrics, like this sounds really good. I like the word association that the artist did there, and they're just looking at us like they're taking the fun out of the music. Taking fun out of music.
So how do you bring the fun to music? Because you said you work in radio now, or did you work with radio before?
No, I've written stories for radio. And I used to have my own radio show where I played some songs and things like that. But yeah, that was just a fun thing to do. Like I loved it. My favorite place in the whole world is being in a radio studio with like your headphones on and like talking to people, or just with that microphone in front of you. I guess similar to you, like you must have a similar thing if you're doing your own podcast.
I guess.
Yeah, let's go with yeah.
We like to meet new people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, as we always say on the show, we're happy our fans come with us as we try to just ask questions about things that we want to know answers to. Yeah. So we have people on like, so how do you make tea? This is interesting. Like, you buy your own leaves. Like, let's talk about it. And our fans just go along with us, which is kind of nice because we would just do it anyway. We had no fans.
So how long have you been doing it?
So not an interview.
5 years. Yeah. And it started out as us just talking, and then we said we're not that exciting. So let's get some other people to talk, right? Because when you all are talking together, you can find some wisdom. So let's all talk together. And then we were like, wait, I've always wanted to know how to. Yeah. And then whatever it was.
Pretty much.
Can you come on our show?
What is it with how we actually interviewed a chef because we wanted to know how to make the dish that they make.
Yes, that fun. We did. We interviewed a chef for that. Let's see.
We've been trying
somebody that does tea, like someone that sells tea, and they explain to us the different kinds of tea because Winona loves tea. So yay, I was excited for that.
So anyway, how long since I'm supposed to be interviewing, let me go with how long have you been pursuing your dreams and succeeding?
About sort of 12 years now, I guess. It was, I just started to send writing out to different publishers and agents. Mm-hmm. And really early on, I got a reply from a literary agent who really liked my writing, and that made life much easier. And it was a really nice thing. I just started sending work out to agents, and she'd just set up her own agency, and she was looking for new writers. So like it was like this perfect combination. And she retired a couple of years ago, but she was my agent for maybe 12 years, something like that.
Wow. Okay, so we need to talk about somebody was looking for poetry.
Poetry? No, this wasn't for poetry. This was for non-fiction.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, I don't know how he found a literary agent looking at poetry. That's amazing. I was like, I think the stars aligned on that one.
Literary agents hate poetry.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do. And it makes no sense to me because I think there's a really beautiful thing about having a poetry. Like I think having a poetry book in your pocket or in your bag when you're kind of on the train somewhere or going somewhere and you've got 10 minutes. You don't have time to read a book, but you can open a book and read a couple of poems. I think I've never really understood the lack of success of poetry books.
Because
we don't either. Because we're successful.
We did, and everyone says you're not gonna make money doing poetry, and you're like, yeah, you can. And I think that people have this like view of poetry of sitting in literature class, high school or college or whatever, and picking apart these poems that you'll never understand, and then they're just mad about it, and they never want to read poetry again. But they don't think about how poetry really helps you song lyrics, as you brought out. Or also, we found a lot of success. A lot of people have had a lot of success when they put their poetry on like Audible or somewhere so people can listen and get inspiration from it.
He did not ask that question because he wanted a real answer.
Oh,
did you?
That was me. Sorry.
Did you ask the question because you were like, no, I really want someone to explain how do I make poetry successful?
It's terrible. My bad.
Okay. So, like, you had a podcast for a minute there where we're gonna stick with the poetry thing. Then I'm gonna jump to nonfiction. But you had a podcast there for a moment where you were writing poetry on air.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's for fun, really. But it's me and two of my friends who are they're much better than me. They're like proper poets. They've had like a proper kind of like prize-winning poetry books published, and we do it in London, somewhere called Soho Radio, which is this incredibly beautiful radio studio. I do it for once a month. We can't do it at the moment. We're doing it over like that online at the moment, which means we can't meet up and go to the radio studio and have a nice time in there, which is really sad. It's over a year since we all hung out. But the idea is that we each choose 15 minutes of poem. We each choose 15 minutes of music, and we take it in turns to put that music on, and we write a poem with the same title. The three of us choose a title, write a poem while the music plays, and then read out the poems. And that's like a 2-hour thing. And sometimes we kind of, it's a really nice thing to do. We recorded one yesterday, I think, but that's not something that we get paid for or anything like that. It's just a radio station that lets us do a show, which is great. It's really fun.
So my follow-up question immediately is: so when the world opens, don't you need two adorable American poets to join your group for like one show?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We had our first American guest last month. That was a really exciting thing. He was in California, and it was nice. It was nice to talk to people over there, over where you are.
Oh, okay. So I promised nonfiction. So let's hear about your nonfiction books and
where
people can get those, of course.
So they're quite. It's interesting. They're quite British things, really. The first book was called Radiohead, and it is about British radio, and every chapter is a different radio station, and I just spent a day listening to that radio station. And then there's another book that I wrote that was about seasides, British seasides. So I never specifically wanted to write very British things, but that's kind of the style of writing I've ended up doing. I guess that's because it's quite a popular thing. Yeah,
okay. All right, so where can people find out more about you, and especially where can they buy your books?
They can. me I've got a website, which is johnosbornewriter.com. Osborne spelt Osborne. So johnosbornewriter.com, and my Twitter is at John Oz Radiohead.
Radio,
Yes.
very British things. And poetry into a very successful writing career. It's just like,
I love it so much. I love it so much.
It's so interesting.
We didn't even talk about how you write for theater. So one more question. What have you written for theater, and what are the differences in writing just like regular books and then trying to write a play? Succeeding in writing a play. I meant to say succeeding.
Yeah, we try.
We try.
Well, I think the good thing about writing for the theatre is that you can do it. Like, you can write it and then you can find a theatre and you can perform it, or you can get actors to perform it. It feels like quite a fun, realistic thing. So I whatever I write, I kind of feel like it's the same thing, really. It's just finding an enjoyment in writing, and whether it's theatre or poetry or TV or radio, it's all try and make it as fun and interesting as possible, really.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, and so that was literally the last question. Actually, I lied to you. We're going to ask you one more. Where can people find you again so people can follow you and buy your book?
More importantly, buy the book. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that out loud.
But I guess the easiest thing is the Twitter thing, which is John Oz Radiohead.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
It's so and fun staying to have on a poet.
I know, right? To have on a poet and across the pond and literally 5 hours ahead of us. So thank you for coming on at like 8 o'clock in your evening, right? So thank you so much.
I feel so much smarter. I feel like because we had an English poet on, I am like more professional and literary.
Right. We're just gonna claim that. We're just gonna take it. We're just gonna that's for us. All right. So remember, you can find out everything you ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com. While you're there, take a moment and go to the ladies tab and go to the middle and see the charities that we probably support. And if you want all of this and just an extremely abbreviated view, how do you say it? How do you do that one?
You go to www.andithoughladies.com.
Absolutely. Just remember, y'all, wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Will No.
And Jade. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, thanks for listening.